as I was stating, do you want to state your opinions, how you feel about it, and see maybe build a consensus? Like you get this opinion, this opinion, this opinion, how they view the world, and then you get a consensus. It's like, all right, that's how you go about it, and just give that vocabulary of those consensuses. You always want to be assertive in getting those instead of like dictating, well, it has to be my way, and my way is the correct way. My political view is this, and this is America, whatever. Literally, America is the consensus of everybody. And you don't try to like say this is that. And if you fall outside of that, that's the opposite. So it's opposite of America. And that's what Putin's doing. He's telling that intelligence officer, this is what I'm doing. He's like basically moving those armies around. And so he's in control, not really the generals. Generals, he's more in control than, which is it was a good thing, you know what I'm saying? Because the generals are now confined what Putin wants. And our generals are going to be confined what is best, We have the overall goal of defending Ukraine, and now we know we got to make Russia a democracy, or else we're just going to keep getting attacked. So we have to use those same tactics that are being used against us, because half our populace is like basically for Russia and for an autocratic system. So we need to get inside them and build up the democracy movement within Russia. Um, every tactic that we know that exists, and even more so. I mean, like this, whatever is being used, and it's like, well, they already believe they're in democracy. And you could be like, well, this democracy is great. This Putin's democracy is the best. Just hype train that shit. The only thing that could fuck it up is defeating Ukraine, right? It's like, look at them, It's like so good, man. Nothing wrong. Like the only thing that could fuck up our Putin's version of democracy is a defeat and a crushing economy, whatever, right? And just lay that seed, I'm talking about that kind of thing. And like, because then you're not talking shit. But it's like we're gonna win, so everything's gonna go. But if we don't, then we know something's fucked up. So that way, not really caught by Russian censors and shit like that. You'd be like hyping it in. And so they gotta live in that world. They can't really talk freely. You know what I mean? That's crazy. And so this that kind of thing. So when we give them that defeat, they're like, hold up, maybe this democracy is not democracy or whatever. And then we could take out that oligarchy or whatever. And I'm certain like we take out like a couple of dozen people, 100, whatever it is, maybe that democracy, that oligarchy will fall, and we can put it in a democracy. Their version of democracy, what they call a democracy, because that's what they believe, and they even believe that, so like, it's just like whatever. You have to do that. You have to make Russia a democracy. You have no choice, and that's the greater goal. So our greater goal is defend Ukraine and make Russia a democracy. We shouldn't be shy about that. Hey, what's up? And once we are always absorbing whatever Russia gets at us, then we're just slowly shrinking whatever. We have to push back. If we're, what I'm saying, either being pushed or pushed back. When is there ever equilibrium? That's utopia. That is like fantasy. Like you can't. There's no way you could ever achieve that. I mean, it's just nonsense, whatever. Because you're saying that what we believe another system's going to adhere to our neutrality or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? It's just like, no, they're already not a democracy. They're going to do what they're going to do. And they're going to try to use our morality against us. They're going to use our systems and procedures against us. So we don't want to fall into that. So we got to be like, look, you got to join the club. You got to be democracy. You know what I'm talking about? And you're over there trying to fuck with us. You know what I'm saying? And it's just constantly going to happen. That's what I'm saying, that's my opinion. And you look historically, that's what we got to do. Everything either grows or shrinks or whatever. Once something we got Pax Romana, boom, started to shrink, slowly started to shrink. You know what I'm talking? It's because you think like, oh, you're so great, so arrogant, we don't even do nothing. No, you have to aggressively put out, um, democracy, very assertively put out democracy. It's just how it is. Now, what's probably going to happen with Putin, he's going to wait till we commit to a decision, and then he's going to adjust to that and try to cut us off. So you got to be very adaptive, whatever. So I'm hesitant to say anything, whatever. I'm not a general, you know what I mean? But I know for a fact that, like, if they send in forces to Donbass and Donetsk, whatever, those two separate regions, he has so many forces, he's going to surround it and he's going to take out like the bulk or the cream of what Ukrainian could, could offer or whatever. But if you don't do that, then it's easy to take over, you know what I'm saying? So how can you defend it and be able to not get cut off? And that's the trick. And that's just one of the many things that could happen, you know? I mean, listen, but I don't know, man. One thing's for certain. I mean, you gotta commit to fight, but I want to commit to a certain action. That's I don't know, man. It's like I mean, it's like already deadly as it is, you know. I'm talking about so. I mean, that's just two different things. So I mean, I want to go back and adjust that. You mean once the invasion happens, you want to commit, but I mean, you just want to commit to one little thing. You know what I mean? Like one tactic or whatever. Fuck, like okay, now we know what they're gonna do, so we're gonna do this, and I could just see like people just swarming in, just cutting off things. Like you think it's gonna be like convoys, some places it's gonna be convoys, but maybe just fans out and you hold the checkpoint and they just go all the way around it and get you from behind. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's not a good situation, and that's the whole thing. Like they're calling up the reservists and everything. But that's just fighting people. And it's a more dynamic war than just that. You need to have your psyops up and all that other stuff. But I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? That's just one thing. Those are people they could do on their downtime or whatever, on their phones and stuff like that. Going after in Russian language, saying you should be a democracy, we're going to win, and all this other stuff. Between the lull and the fighting and everything. But they should mobilize all the people that are not willing to fight, the civilians, just get into excavators and that kind of thing is to start digging trenches all around the cities, So they have layers of defense, layers of trenches or whatever, that should already be done because it's going to be super quick and they should already been done that, because what's going to hold is some of the cities. And you don't know which cities are going to hold, so they got to do it all of them, and so they're going to overrun some and some are going to delay them just enough, whatever. You got to slow this guy down as fast as possible. So you want to go after all the vehicles, that they're traveling in. Because once they're on the ground, I could guarantee these Ukrainians are fighters, man. There's Cossacks, and everybody knows about Cossacks or whatever. That's that blood, man. If they're not like us, are not sitting down, like me watching TV or nothing or whatever. They're fucking doing everything. You know what I'm saying? They're like the top. They're pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of people not fighting, whatever, and they're leaving. So everybody doesn't want to fight. Just go to Poland or whatever, Lithuania, all that other stuff. You know what I mean? But the people that want to contribute, they should just stay. If they can't hold a weapon, they should be digging like entrenchments, doing all that other kind of stuff, all the support stuff. I'm talking about because the whole population needs to be mobilized, not just okay, we'll call up these people, and that's nice, but it's more dynamic than just fighting. And the fighting is more dynamic than the shooting. I'm talking about, you know. So, but my point is, I don't know. That's for other people to do. That's like the other stuff that's like very procedural, whatever. I just touched on it. Now that's not how you do it. I'm just giving very general stuff. I'm talking about like super general. So I don't want to be like, well, this is very specific, and that's how you go about it. Like I'm just saying, like the whole population should be mobilized. Defenses should already be making. People should be jumping in bulldozers and backhoes, start doing like all kind of tank traps and shit like that to slow these motherfuckers down any way possible. And just don't guarantee that's going to work. That's going to slow them down for a minute, maybe a day, maybe an hour or whatever. I'm talking about that's how you got to think. You know what I'm saying? That it's not going to be permanent. You know what I'm saying? But that gives you time to prepare a better defense or coordinate, to organize. To get everybody ready for to really put a good punch on them. I mean, it's just like, you got to think like that, because you can't be like, well, this lie or this trench is going to hold forever. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it just buys you enough time to make a move. You know what I'm saying? That's what I learned. But then like 20 years later, some of those lies kind of held. a lot, so, and you just hear all kind of shit, so you just kind of disregard it. But that's all like, but that's the kind of thing, you can't rely on any one thing. That's my point. So you dig your trenches and just have backup on a backup on a backup, what I'm saying? If that's a trench, or put out like cars or whatever it is, what I'm talking about, and slow them down, whatever they can, don't let them get into the cities. Um, I don't know how it's all going to transpire. I don't want to say anything specific, man. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. That's what you want to do because they could just roll over the cars too. You know what I'm saying? So what's really good, like tank traps and stuff like that. Because as he comes in, you want to slow them getting into the city so everybody in the city can mobilize. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. All right, my thing. But like I said, he comes in. I mean, you suck him in, destroy their economy, destroy the capability of fighting, and then we build up the democracy sentiment in Russia. Boom, down. Telling you, that's what our goal should be. And you got people very motivated to help us out with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's only really to save Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? So instead of Ukraine always taking it, rolling with it, they could punch back, and they had to punch back. So it's not like with tanks. It's just, dude, it came over us, telling us what to do, and when people want to kill the other people are going to do everything under the sun below war to be like, hey, you should be democracy. It's best course of action, whatever. That's and it's just a natural thing. I think that's the most humanistic way to look at it. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, use all your intelligence to make their lives better to be democracy. You know what I'm saying? So every Ukrainian could use their creativity, intelligence to be like, hey, look, Russian, this is not the best way to go about things. You know what I'm saying? And it's really shameful because on our side, like they're saying like they're throwing out like really catchphrases and simple things to like scare people, whatever, like nuclear weapons, this and that, or whatever. I'm like, there's like no nuclear weapons there. This is not the confines and parameters of the engagement or whatever. So that shouldn't even be mentioned. That's not even on the chessboard. And this is a bloody chess game. It's a chess game. It's a bloody chess game, no doubt or whatever. But when people bring that up, it's just really like insulting or whatever, because they want us in America to back down, and you got other Americans stating that. I'm like, really? What was that to do with nothing? Anything? You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with what's happening right now. Like, and it's really, I'm just like, when I read the messages, and I'm like, you're supposed to be scared of this and that. I was like, no, you want us to do that. You want to be, you know, like stronger than, and go after the weak or whatever. That's the perception. And so you try to use these phrases to, try to intimidate whatever, maybe, to maybe shake up, the Russian, whatever the opposition is, and it's just like, that's not a conversation. We already know that's not going to happen. There's no, I mean, this is a civilization, cultural maneuvering, I'm talking about. It's bloody maneuvering. But they don't want to annihilate each other, I'm talking about. And it's like, what are you talking about, dude? I'm saying this, don't even talk about, be real, whatever. See real what's happening. Putin wants their cousins into Russia. I'm talking about their Slavic cousins. They basically want to slap them around and take everything they got. But like, my culture is better than you. We could do whatever we want. And I'll rob them. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And just don't bring it to a level where it's not. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole problem. He's not even being rational. This whole thing is not rational. It's fucking war. You know what I'm saying? Well, like I said, no one ever think for 1 minute of what is human doom. Open up a fucking textbook. Speak to the experts. They've seen this shit before. He's gonna wait until the best opportunity to invade, where he knows he's gonna win. You know? And that's always the case when someone fully commits any kind of force where he know he could cut it off, whatever, you know? Or if we state that we're going to fully mobilize, then he knows he has to go in now before we fully mobilize. So it's just like this whole thing, you know what I'm saying? Before Ukraine fully mobilizes, whatever, you know, every man, woman, and child and everything. So, but every hour they have that he's not flooding over the border, they got to utilize, you know? One more, you know, it's one more, more they're up in their chances to delay them for another hour. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it compounds. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you got to, that's just my thinking. I don't know. So, like I said, I'm just here giving my opinion. I'm not over there, I don't, on the ground or whatever. But the only thing I really saw that I know of, that I thought was kind of interesting, was I saw like these tanks going on the those big rigs, whatever, to go across country because you don't want to travel that tank across country because of maintenance might break down, the road and all these other things. So it's just easier to put on those big tractor trailers. But the whole thing, just getting it up there, it takes time or whatever. It would be nice if we had like satellites in real time, could tell the Ukrainians, be like, hey, they're putting one on this big tractor trailer, whatever, easy target. It's not attacking, it's not in attack mode. So you just get over the horizon, capabilities, and boom, take it out. I mean, that's just one thing, you know what I'm saying? But there's going to be hundreds of things you need to do, you know what I'm talking about? So you focus on one thing, but it'd be nice if we at least had that, I'm talking about, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? There you go, free tank, free kill, boom, done, you know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. But it's just like, you don't know what's going to work. I don't know how, you got to slow them down as much as possible, but how do you do that? You know what I'm saying? So but I know that, what I'm saying? So let them, they need to put their minds together and figure that out as people and with our help and, and everything else. But it's just like, I know for a fact those people need to fully mobilize. So, and Mariupol right there, they should already like be digging trenches. They're just gonna come right in. But places that have a lot of Russian sentiment, and probably just gonna be like an easy walkthrough or whatever. And they said they're gonna go to the Dnieper River, and you could build that's where you're gonna build your defense. Well, one of them or whatever. So I don't know. It all depends. Because the thing is, it's gonna change up on the fly, and you got to be ready to change up on the fly, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe he's consolidating those two regions, and they're gonna push out. And then he's gonna push out to the whole of Donetsk and Donetsk, whatever it is, that whole area, and then push out. But while he's consolidating, that's opportunity just to lay in everything you fucking can before he pushes out. But be careful, because once you put in too much stuff over there, boom, everything's gonna flood in. So it's just like, you gotta be on it, you know what I'm saying? It's a deadly fucking chess game, man. Alright. I said my piece. In this day and age, you got like people trying to change borders and shit. But I'm thinking this is the last gasp. We could collapse the last of the one of the biggest countries, and make it a democracy, and be, instead of against us, it'll be for us. I'm talking about it. So instead of worrying about it, be like, hey, we got Russia on our side. Now it's a democracy. Think about that. Think about the world like that. You know? There's no more saying, anybody's weak. Maybe they're forced to attack, knowing that they're going down, and they got to be like, hey, we did everything we can as a people, to be like, oh, we're strong or whatever. I don't know. I have no idea, man. It doesn't make any rational sense, It doesn't, because I'm pretty sure the Ukrainians have a good chance of not only just winning. I could see this thing like in the very beginning being crushed. Everybody keeps saying though we have to give up territory, definitely, but I could see like it very quickly them pushing in, and then Ukrainians themselves pushing right the fuck back to the original borders and going right back and going into Crimea too. I see that. I mean, everybody says they're outgunned and everything, but there's a good possibility of that too. I don't think there isn't. Don't think we're just gonna keep fighting a defensive war and it's gonna stop at a certain region. I'm talking about Ukrainians. I doubt they're just gonna be like, okay, that's cool. They're just gonna boom, saying counterattack. So it's a lot different world, man. So stop thinking like these dynamics are just like set in stone. It's very fluid. You know what I'm saying? So and everybody else has to be very adaptive. And we're over here, so where we have that opportunity, that luxury of giving our opinions. We're not over there. They're confined to a certain way of thinking. And not only that, they're confined to one person dictating what to do, even though that's not the best course decision. And over time, it's going to add up and we'll be able to win. All right. I'm done. I'm good. Cleaned out my cupboard, scrubbed it all out, bleaching my floor or whatever. So I'm good. It's a little gravy mist packet that had a little fray, and so I was able to take care of it and be able to clean up. So I got to do what I got to do. Just wanted to mention that was the first thing when I came in. I had to deal with some weevils, whatever. So every year or so, something ants or something like that. It's why is this crazy? But it's got to really be really attentive to it. Got to really scrub everything down, package everything up. Just be super organized and everything. So let me go to that and organize some more, clean some more, whatever. Do what I got to do. Work on my other room. Work a little bit on the computer, and I'm out. But I don't know. I want to leave with something. I think one thing I did leave out, they have like tank factories and all these other factories. I think you need to start putting those underground in caves as deep as you could go and start doing that. Because you don't want them to have a target. So whatever kind of war thing in factories that is like prioritize it, and you can put it in. And still, because I think what's going to happen with these tank factories, we're going to be giving them tanks, and those should just be where you could repair them. Like you put them out in the field, if they get knocked out a little bit, you bring them in, get them repaired, and put them back out. They shouldn't really be making tanks. That would just be one or two because probably be knocked in out like one every couple hours. So whatever it is, you can't build them that fast. Saying so it'd be more of a repair shop or whatever. But those things need to be. You already got to be start doing that. Like it was World War II. What did Germany do? They put it in caves and stuff like that, and mines and everything, their factories and stuff like that. So you got to start thinking those kind of things. You got to be doing it already. What I'm talking about. But if you already blasted out to everybody what you're doing, here he floods in. So like it's just this crazy thing. You know what I mean? Glad I live in America, man. I'll tell you that much. Anyways, I'm out. Um, do whatever you can to love people and to have them have better lives. So, and listen, always get the consensus. Never enforce your will on somebody. And accept good feedback. You know what I mean? You're not always correct. You know what I'm saying? Because you get a certain amount of information, then you make a decision on it. You know, you're not seeing everything. You don't know everything. Don't get in that complacent, that arrogancy, and then be like, "Oh, this is what we got to do." That's what it comes down to. We need more of that in the world. Violence is easy. Sitting down, talk to people, and being firm and being real, that's difficult. All right, I'm out. Peace.